Hey guys, it's Lonnie Cochran with Gunnersville Guide Service. I've had a lot of questions lately about the baits that I've been using the last probably going on 4 weeks now. Um, I've basically been catching all of our fish on two baits. That may be kind of hard to believe, but get a hold of any of my clients, they'll vouch for this. We get 6 rods out, two each. We're throwing the Berkeley hitworm and the Scottsboro tackle Hellcat jig. Now, I've been trying to stay ahead of these fish this year. The weather patterns we've had, everything has been kind of messed up since the middle of February. We had a day in January where fish were coming up to spawn, and we had 109 in one day, and 100 of them off of one spot. They were just moving in to spawn back in January. Our weather was warm, the water was warm, everything just lined up. The spawn has been on and off. There's been fish spawning somewhat, not big groups, but small groups, nearly every month around the full moon cycle. A lot of people are struggling. The fish are scattered. They're just now, we're getting some warm weather to kind of make these fish group up a little bit, push them out. A lot of fish not going to come out this year. The grass is far enough along that there's going to be a lot of fish that stays under the grass, don't come out deep. Uh, that's when they're scattered, they're hard to catch numbers and numbers of big ones at one time. We need hot weather. Finally, we're getting some of it now, and things are looking better. The last 2 days I fished, we caught over 50, and we had over 20 pounds one of the 2 days. Didn't the second day, but we still had a couple of decent fish. So things are getting better. Just because it's hot, don't stop fishing. The hotter it gets, the better it'll be to a certain extent. Um, just gonna make a short video and let you know what these baits look like. I've had people calling me where to get a hold of them. They can't find the baits. The Berkeley hitworm, it is difficult to get in touch and get your hands on some. Scottsboro Tackle has hooked up with them, and as soon as they get an order in, they should have them. I talked to Brad yesterday, and their Berkeley's running about a month behind right now. I've got 2 orders in myself, just to try to stay ahead where I don't run out. These worms, they're the Berkeley Max scent. Now, if it's a coincidence, maybe so. I've never had a worm like this that I've had to repeatedly dig the hooks out of the fish. You feel one tap, they've got this thing swallowed. Um, it's borderline should be illegal. I guess it's the scent they putting in them. I don't know. I've had baits before that fish really got after, and you would have that somewhat here and there, but these, it seems like the percentage is a lot higher. If you feel it bite, you better set the hook. If you don't, he's gonna have it swallowed. I had one the other day. When I got the fish in, I couldn't even see my hook. My sinker, my hook, and everything was in the fish's stomach. I pulled it, it pulled out, and the fish had never been hooked. He just swallowed the whole thing and was holding on to it. These things are real. I mean, you can try them for yourself. I've had one guy, message me and tell me he was had bought the baits but was still struggling. You get, there's several different ways to fish them. You can fish them Texas rigs, you can fish them Carolina rig, you can fish them on a shaky head. Whichever type fits you the best, that you're most confident in, that would be the way to use it. That way you're confident in what you're doing. Now, as far as the jig, it's the Scottsboro Tackle Company Hellcat jig. Uh, it's one that I don't think they have this color in stock yet. I know it's been on order for 2 or 3 weeks. It should be in at any time. They do have some that is close that may work for you. You may like those better, but this one here is proven. They're going to call it the Alabama Thunder when it comes in. It'll be for sale. I'm sure they'll sell it online and in store once they get it in. You may prefer a smaller jig than I do. I throw a 3/4 ounce most of the time. Preferably, I want to stir the bottom up. When I'm throwing a football jig, I'm on a hard bottom, whether it be shale bed, rock, sand, some type of hard, semi-rough, slick, nothing with a lot of wood on it, is where I like to throw this jig. I'll throw it in 2 foot of water. I'll throw it in 30 foot of water. The depth does not matter to me. I want a 3/4 ounce jig to stir the bottom up and let them know that there's something there. Get the silt moving. The way I find these bottoms, get out in your boat, put your boat in gear, and I do hummingbird classes. And I found a lot of fish just doing the class. Put your boat in gear, kick the mercury in gear, let it idle, turn your birds on. They will find the fish. These Gen 3 units, and you can find them with the Gen 1s, Gen 2s, and other brands as well. These Gen 3s, if there's a fish there, it'll show it to you. You may not see the fish, you may see the shadows, but you know they're there. I have the side image on the front, I have the side image on the back. I turn my trolling motor head, and I'm looking, and I can tell you where to cast to catch the fish. I've had clients, we pull up, see the school of fish, anchor down, bam. Just last week, we had one group that had like 6 doubles in, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes maybe. But, use your electronics. You don't have to be ledge fishing. A lot of people they say they're ledge fishing, but they're fishing offshore, and they're fishing hard bottoms, whether it be a road bed, a creek channel, a sandbar, a shale bed, where clay meets rock. It could be a lot of different things. You hear the term, I'm ledge fishing. It's not necessarily on a river ledge. There is a lot of river ledges. There's a lot of ledge fishing goes on. But the term ledge fishing gets misused. Everybody thinks they're out on a ledge. When a lot of guys say, oh, I'm ledge fishing today, they were on a road bed. It could have been a 2-foot drop off of a road bed. It could have been a 6-foot drop. It's still a ledge. It's just a short ledge. But it don't mean necessarily that you're out in 30 feet of water. Like I say, these are the 2 baits that I've thrown for 3-4 weeks now. That's the only rods I've got out of the box. It's worked. It's getting better. The warm weather is getting these fish to group up a little better. Some of the shad are coming back out to the deeper water, and that'll help these fish group up. But like I say, don't give up on the grass. The grass is going to be extremely good this year, because there's going to be a lot of fish that don't come out and get on these ledges, shale beds, road beds, sandbars. There's going to be a lot of fish that don't come out that stay in the grass. Now, you may have to throw a frog, you may have to punch. There'll be several different ways, swim baits, to get a hold of these fish. But the heat, a lot of people think the heat is a bad thing, but it's not. It's a good thing this year. We need the heat to warm this water up, to position these fish where they're easier to find, and you can find more groups of them. If you hadn't got any, try to run down some Berkeley Max Scent Magnum hitworms and the Scottsboro Tackle Hellcat jig. Once they come in, the Alabama Thunder is the one I'd have in my boat. Although he's got a lot of other colors that's really good. Contact Tim or Andrea down at Scottsboro Tackle and they can get you hooked up with these things. Till next time, good luck, tight lines.